What would happen if a Fortnite player who couldn't build tried to go pro? You would think they would have no chance, right? Well, you're not wrong unless your name happens to be Queasy, one of the world's greatest Fortnite players of all time. With him messing up triple edits for 7 years and even choking 500 solo clutches with millions on the line, it led to many pros and even Peterbot calling him terrible.
And then I just knew it was a free win because I was Queasy.
But how did he then go on to win 4 FNCS titles, come top 5 in 8 finals, and be seen as one of the best to ever play the game? Well, it all begins in Serbia, a small European country where Queasy would grow up. While living with his 2 parents and his dog, Queasy would spend most of his time playing video games. But he didn't just play the most common video games like Call of Duty and Minecraft. He instead loved to play games like League of Legends, a game known to require a lot of strategic thinking and not much mechanics. But later into his childhood, Queasy would start playing a game that would change his life forever.
My dad used to play like a lot of video games, so I used to sit behind him and watch him and just like, I've always dreamt of competing in video games. Initially when Fortnite came out, in the gaming cafe I was playing at, everyone was playing Fortnite, so I decided one day to just play.
Queasy would quickly get better than all his friends, but he still was nowhere near the level of the best players, even though at the time no one really could build.
Down, ramp us down! Ramp us down, do it down with a ramp! Go! It's not building! It's not building! Down!
Oh my god, dude.
That's not my fault!
Queasy would continue to watch best Fortnite players at the time, and he even started learning new tricks to try and make him get better at the game. But they unfortunately still wouldn't be enough for Queasy to go pro, as on November 18, 2018, he tweeted, "Feeling like absolute shit. Getting to pro and actually chasing your dream is so hard and stressful." Things would get even worse for Queasy, as at the time he had to go to school and work in a kitchen. Not only was the work in school making Queasy's life harder, but it was taking vital time from him practicing scrims in the evening, which made it impossible for him to get ahead of the best players at the time, who had enough time to master their building, editing, and aim.
Die, ready? Oh my god! Who's bam bam? Pump shotgun. Boom. Boom. Switch back pump. Where's little bitch flanking around? I don't think so, dude. Going for the teammate res. Don't think so. What you doing? Yo dead. Pump.
Oh my god.
The thing is though, Queasy would not give up. And before he would finally go on to see some success, he ended up having one of the worst years of his life. In 2019, he was still working in a job he hated. His parents weren't supporting his dream, and he started having some serious health issues. As on October 30th, 2019, he tweeted, "Sitting in hospital for 2 to 3 days since they think my pancreas might explode, probably missing first week of FNCS, might go surgery if it is pancreas, legit wanna KMS, I can't lay in a hospital bed, I feel like absolute shit and hate my fucking life, school, everything right now." Thankfully, Queasy would eventually recover, and it wouldn't be long before he started finding out new strategies again, and he even began practicing his mechanics. And that practice clearly paid off, as in the start of next year, Queasy would be second place in the tournament, but things ended terribly as his parents forced him to get offline and he couldn't finish out the tournament. Thankfully, soon after, Queasy would be okay, as Queasy was about to play duo FNCS with a player who he said changed his life.
Trulix in my first Discord. I mean, finding Trulix, I guess. We pushed each other always.
After trying to go pro for years and finding Trulex, Queasy finally had that tournament that would kickstart his career, as he came second place in FNCS with Trulex. One thing everybody noticed was how simple Queasy's builds were, but that didn't matter as he had such good strategy at playing the game and always knowing when to take high ground. The future of Queasy was looking bright, and he'd even gotten a brand new PC, but mostly for the rest of the year, Fortnite would focus on solo tournaments. And this was terrible news for Queasy, as solos requires a lot more need for being good at building.
Like, bro, why, man? Why does this happen, bro? Why? Why does this?
His building also wasn't the only issue for solos. Trying to stay calm and not lose his mental was another big thing he struggled with.
Okay, well, I'm just getting I just got hit by a shark and sniped by a marauder at the same time. I got sniped twice. I got
Over the next few seasons, Queasy would keep playing scrims and trying to improve his game knowledge, but he wouldn't have the most success in tournaments as these seasons were dominated by solo players who were smart but mainly had great mechanics. Eventually, the focus on solos would end, and this would make Queasy happy because he had enough.
Fuck this game! Oh, there's no fucking way. Oh, there's no way. I just shit myself.
The main Fortnite modes would return back to being trios. This would lead to Queasy getting his best placement ever, but before he found a trio that he would do that with, he would have a bad FNCS with two players named Raxo and Paco. Usually Queasy would crash out, but his mentality had changed. After their bad FNCS, he had made a mature tweet about how nice it was to play with them and how they had just gone lucky with their landing spot. On the same day, Queasy would tweet, looking for one to try for future FNCS with Trudex, high ground only. And the player they got would go by the name Jerky, an up-and-coming German pro who was known for his insane fighting and great mechanics. While Queasy was smart, this was the firepower that this trio really needed. And another massive change that would help Queasy was his parents started supporting him, which would then allow him to go to a boot camp for 0 ping before the next FNCS.
Walk in here, this shit, hours, like, look at this. That's Piggy K right there. And the big ass shower. This is all hours, all of this shit. It's fucking sick.
Quickly, Queasy realized how much better he was playing now than before, when he had high ping. The ping, his new teammate, and all the years of practicing would finally pay off as Queasy would win his first ever FNCS.
Guys, crossing the guardrail, crossing the guardrail. Dead!
Nice.
Never mind.
Stop! Nej, 3D. I'm just got again. Awesome. Missa das movinali.
Savage Umber. Umber.
Nice!
This tournament was only the beginning for Queasy, as he didn't want to just be a pro, he wanted to be seen as one of the greatest players to ever do it. But after a bad performance in the next FNCS, Queasy would no longer play with Trudex and Jerky. Some people thought Queasy dropping the player that changed his life was a bad decision, but Queasy was a genius, as he went on to perform even better with his new trio, Thomas HD and Anas. So far in Queasy's career, he has tried to get amazing fighters every single time due to his bad mechanics. And meanwhile, Nas was your typical fragger. Thomas was alright mechanically, but his aim was so good people even thought he cheated.
Man is dead. It's against that grief, Queasy. Yeah, it is. And this kid is dead as well. Okay, buddy.
Queasy's genius strats, Anas's fragger ability, and Thomas HD's aim ended up making an unstoppable trio, and they would go on to win so many tournaments. But how would they perform in the biggest tournament of the year, the FNCS Grand Royale, where the winners would get $200,000 each? Well, what would make Queasy's life a lot harder was months before they could qualify for this tournament, Queasy started getting serious pain in his appendix, and even sadly reached a new low with his mental health. As in his tweet he said, "Never in my life has my mental health been this low. I'm actually questioning life." Luckily, Queasy was able to have surgery and ended up being okay. And even a week later, in FNCS Grands, he would come 8th place with Anas and Thomas. When the qualifiers for Grand Royale eventually came, Queasy was ready. And after getting through opens, they were in these things called load sessions. To get to the Grand Royale finals, all Queasy would have to do is get one win in one of these load sessions.
I can't. On me. Yeah.
Splash it. I pat it. Solo.
No.
I'm in on him. 100. 1 HP. He's 9. He's 1 HP.
Take it off.
You have 3
Queasy. Take it off. I'm zero. I'm zero, mess. I'm dead.
I don't think
One dies. If you kill one, you win.
Let's go! Let's fucking go!
A few weeks later, and it was time for FNCS Grand Royale, one of Fortnite's biggest tournaments since after the World Cup. All the best Fortnite pros were in this tournament, and even some of Queasy's biggest rivals. But the question was, would he be able to beat them? Going into game 1, things would go terrible, as Thomas HD was the only player left alive, and Queasy's rival Seti, another player known to be really smart and not as much mechanical, would go on to win the game. Queasy would continue to do bad, but going into game 4, everything changed. By playing smart and taking control of high ground, Queasy was able to get a simple, boring win. And Queasy must have only been getting started, because what happened in the next game, nobody expected.
If they slip, make one mistake, that's instant fall damage, that's the game just ruined.
We're just seeing this beautiful structure created here on the team on high ground. That is third place going into that, and like you mentioned, overtaking second place considering Cammy went down earlier. Tayson here is on the wrong side of this moving circle, and now he's on the wrong side, but Benji is still in this fight, and Thomas HD dips his toe into the fight and gets some elimination. He's gonna go back up, and my prediction, the fast forward is here. Got a couple more mats, but it's a matter of moments here before another victory royale goes to Thomas HD, Queasy, and Anas. Book it. There it is, and a huge one it is, Shayo.
In the final game of day 1, Queasy would find himself in an unfamiliar position on low ground, but his rivals had taken his position on the high ground, and this would lead to an insane endgame.
Shotgun, and Queasy's gonna open up data. That's what they're trying to set up. There it is.
Situation up to 6. Sky pops off. Anas has room to move and a big upgrade. Now back-to-back win on game 4 and game 5. Game 6 is rolling in as well for this team. Have the time, have the patience. All Queasy needs to do is make that room for Anas. One player on their layer. Anas though absolutely affected. Final minis popping off here. They go even lower down in low ground. Knees actually hurting. The bones are tweaking and breaking. It's gonna be tough for them to move out from this situation and in their elements. They're quiet, waiting for the next moment to strike. Andalex is still popping. PKR is making his way up in the top 5, but here it is, finally inside the zone. A moment for an all-in, and Anas misses the shot. Queasy's there to maybe pick it up from the backside, but no, it's Keffy popping off. Teak all the way up top in a final 2v2. Cammy is alive in this final river. Who's gonna be washed off the shore, way up on high ground? He's playing that heel off, playing the final game of EU perfectly from his...
Even though Seti had won, because of Queasy's consistency, at the end of day 1, they were at the top of the leaderboard. But unfortunately, in day 2, Queasy wouldn't be so lucky, as Seti would go on to win another game, and Queasy would only play average and not find much success. But there would be a lifeline. One of Fortnite's greatest players, Tayson, would come out of nowhere in game 11 and take down Seti.
Told you the moving circle is going to be a problem for Thomas HD, and it is, but he goes through. Oh no, 152, but the reply was too strong, and now Anas, he's on fire. It is not fine.
His strat is going to be reversed onto him. He has not many mats left, just 2 to call to his name. Dropped from the back, but he doesn't care, still moving forward. He looks absolute doom in its eyes and just turns around and goes down.
And a white heels who's had to go in with the way of the gun. Jumps in, dives in, gets a knock. Well done. Now he's gonna get a second one. No, it is Floki, but Chapix is there. And with 11 eliminations and the victory royale, that's 545 points, Shayo, and that will put them, no doubt, in first place.
Queasy had dropped to 4th place after Tayson's insane win, and the only way Queasy would have a chance is if...
Tayson just has this, you know, such a vivacious way of playing that's so attractive to watch, and it is a bit more of a gap now going into that final game. And look, if they were to, let's say, go down or spawn early, or, you know, have some sort of a mishap per se, if any sort of aberration happens, what I'm saying is that would be an all-time choke.
And that is exactly what would happen. Tayson's entire trio would go down, giving Queasy a chance to have one of the best games of his career.
First place has been eliminated. All up to Seti and Teak, as the points, the placement, the elims, all of them have been doubled.
Oh, no!
He's down. All of them were on Teak. Harpooned in against the whole team. 1v3. Teak gets one. Another shot done, but it's not enough. 554, and they're frozen too. 579 might be enough points, but how much does Thomas HD have? 492.
Thomas HD will be able to put the nice button for great FNCS year here for the Grand Royale, and now may close this out with style.
Thomas HD is looking for the shots. This is his zone. This is his home, and he's still pushing forward, climbing every mountain, skirting all the way down, and by a big one pump. He doesn't care about who you are down below. That's another shot.
Queasy looking for the victory royale. You got Patrick, Lucia, and Sapphic all the way from Dirty Ducks. 92 tag to the dome. Thomas HD still pushing for another 56 tag. Another 3 tags back to back. Thomas HD going for the royale. Down he goes, and Queasy with the heel of Medi gets the dub, but it was not enough. 14 eliminations and the victory royale.
That insane game from Queasy allowed him to get into 3rd place, but it wasn't enough to take 1st place. For most players, this would be the highlight of their career, but Queasy wanted to be seen as one of the greatest players of all time, and he wasn't going to stop until he did that. Queasy wasn't just doing good in tournaments, he was also taking much better care of his health. Not only would this make Queasy healthier, this would turn him into another level of a player. In the next year of Fortnite, the tournament's focus had changed to duos, and in the past this would be bad news for Queasy, as duos tends to need more mechanical skill than strategy compared to trios. But after continuing to keep grinding and taking care of his health, Queasy would find this insane fighter named Hen. Hen was so good that he would solo clutch in the final game of an FNCS to win Queasy another FNCS.
Nice, get the match. 10 dose, you're good. Dose. Passing out! I'm passing out! I'm passing out! I'm passing out! I can't! I don't feel my body! I don't feel my body!
After that FNCS, everyone was wondering, could this duo go on to win even more? But unfortunately, in the next FNCS, they underperformed and split up. Because of Queasy's status as a smart IGL, it wouldn't take long for him to find a new teammate. And that new teammate was Vino, who at the time was one of Fortnite's greatest fighters. Immediately, everyone was scared of this team. And the question was, what would happen when you pair an incredible fighter with one of Fortnite's smartest players? The answer, they would dominate. In their first FNCS together, Queasy and Vino would end up in 3rd place, making $150,000. And this would also qualify him for Fortnite's biggest tournament that year, where 100 of the best Fortnite players in the world would play at LAN for millions of dollars. Before the tournament, Queasy would continue focusing on himself and practicing every single day. He not only was losing a lot of weight, but still discovering insane new strategies in Fortnite. And when the time came, Queasy was ready for what would be one of Fortnite's most iconic tournaments ever.
Queasy is notorious for being an absolute genius for his IGLing.
This is very clean, high ground takes. It just always seems so methodical and flawless whenever he does it. So the pairing is very, very well.
It was day 1 of the tournament. Queasy and Vino had arrived, but so had their rival, who had recently been on top form.
Cammy and Seti, right? For you longtime EU fans as well, you know these guys recently just won a DreamHack. They've literally came in 1st and 2nd place in a solos competition. They were the best 2 players at the tournament.
No matter who he was playing, Queasy wasn't nervous and believed in himself to win. But going into game 1, Queasy would go down to the worst possible opponent.
Play. Cammy and Seti find their way to the high ground. Down goes Clicks to the hands of Cammy. That's a huge one. Hello, Vino. You have to turn and run. For ability, Vino only 2 HP. No med miss left. He's gonna have to try to find a siphon here, but no, he gets dropped. Before just one player separates them, but Acorn will not survive, and Seti and Cammy take game number 1.
After Cammy and Seti had won, Queasy and Vino weren't even stressed out, but they should have been, as Cammy and Seti would go on to get 2nd place, putting them in 1st place after 2 games, and Queasy and Vino were 6th. If Queasy wanted to win this tournament, he needed to play better, and that's exactly what he did.
And all of a sudden now, it is looking so dicey. Queasy is just waiting.
Do they have the high ground? They drop down low. The game is theirs after they take down Bevy. That is game number 5, sealed up by Vino and Queasy.
I mean, the competition has been great to you guys today. You've had unbelievable work thus far. Scored a lot of points in this competition. How much are you enjoying your time here as well?
A lot, to be fair. It's amazing. Like, the atmosphere and everything is just sick to be here.
I think everyone's doing good, you know, and the competition's been good. No one's really been on high ground, and it's going well for us.
And you guys delivered the goods. One more time, give it up for Queasy and Vino. Your game 5 winners.
Queasy and Vino were hoping to keep the momentum going into the final game of day 1, but Cammy and Seti would be an issue once once again.
We might be seeing our first team who is setting up for a back-to-back.
Back-to-back, that is going to leave them with all the confidence in the world.
Scenario for Thomas HD because his biggest threat is on high ground, but Reet is fighting back. Reet takes down Queasy on height. He is turning this around and trying to turn this into potentially a solo game.
Day, but a team looking to take first place back. Cammy and Seti, and they try to steal it away by getting that VR to end game 6.
Even though Seti had won the final game, at the end of the day, Queasy and Vino were still on top.
Joined by Vino and Queasy, our first place team out of day 1. Queasy after that VR in game 5 to almost do it again in game 6 as well. I mean, obviously you're going into day 2 pretty confident.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the lobby is not that hard. I feel like we should have been way better than we are right now. We had like a hard choke in game 4 and 5, I think. Or no,
wait, you got 4? The VR in game 5.
3 and 4. But yeah, other than that, feeling confident going tomorrow.
Queasy and Vino were feeling good, and in the very first game of day 2, they would dominate.
Team from Greasy Grove making it this far, and it's come down to a 2v2 situation between two of the top teams in EU. This is basically Queasy and Vino's game.
Both sides are starting to run out now. Queasy's down to 1 build as well. This is looking very dire. They're gonna have to cap off. Vino goes down. He takes a shot, but Vino blocks it. Beautifully done. Janice snuck up from behind. Queasy with a great follow-up. And oh my gosh, it was so close, but Queasy touches out in the end. EU, Vino, Queasy from first to another first, literally.
Things were looking great for Queasy, but his tournament would take a turn for the worst when Seti would go on to win 2 games, and in one of them, he even took down Queasy.
Saying Cammy won, which is unfortunate. It comes down to the last game. It's competitive.
And this would lead to Queasy no longer being in first, but there was 1 game left and only 2 teams could win, Cammy and Seti or Queasy and Vino. And what would happen next would be a moment in Fortnite that will never be forgotten.
The final game. Let's give it up one more time as we start to gear up for this. It's all or nothing because we get to decide who gets to take this all home.
And they immediately change their routes. They don't want to go ahead and contest the same building where Mr. Savage had that best drop at that time. What is this? What is this? Queasy, Vino are trying to take it by force.
You only win in one way, and that's taking that crown. Vino is here. Queasy is here. Down goes Seti. It's a big trade. It's a one-on-one. This has to be one of the most explosive head-to-heads we have ever seen.
He's trying to bait the revive so that way Cammy might peek. Breaks through the wall. Shot's gonna be fired. And they do it. Become Legends are on top.
Become Legends has officially managed to win the biggest fight of their careers.
Queasy and Vino were devastated. Queasy had failed to achieve his dream of coming first place at LAN. After the tournament, Queasy would continue to play with Vino and would end the year being number 1 in a lot of leaderboards in EU. But he still wasn't seen as one of the greats of all time. The only way for him to do that was to win at LAN. In the next year, before the next big LAN, Queasy would continue to take care of himself and do well in tournaments. But he would also discover a player by the name of Swizzy, as on March the 5th, 2023, he tweeted, "This kid is just the best Asian ex-Russian genes, just beat everyone in gaming." He was hyping up this underrated player. Little did he know, Swizzy would change his life forever in the future. When the time came for Fortnite's yearly LAN, which was now called FNCS Globals, Queasy and Vino were hoping they could win, but unfortunately they would have a mediocre tournament and be nowhere near the top 5. Queasy was not happy with the performance, but at least he did make some money.
What am I gonna do? I got ratio. Got fucking ratio.
After Queasy and Vino would inevitably split, the familiar face would return to duo with Queasy.
Nah, fuck this shit, I'm playing Clash of Clans.
Unsurprisingly, it didn't take long for them to start doing well, and Queasy was very happy after they got second in the first FNCS of the year. But at the end of the day, Queasy was still same old Queasy.
I'm getting headshots out of this game, I'm feeling it.
In the months that followed, Queasy would go on to do decent, but Peterbot would continue dominating on another level. When it came time for globals, everybody expected Peterbot to win it with ease, and nobody was even thinking about Queasy. But Queasy didn't care. He knew he would be able to take on Peterbot, being smart and using strategies nobody has seen before. And so on September the 7th, 2024, globals would begin.
Are they where they need to be to look and say, look, this is it. This is our year. We're going to walk away global champions?
I think so. Honestly, I think that they've had a lot of practice.
You know, a lot of people are saying, like, you know, Queasy is the height king. It's been a little bit 50-50 for these guys. We've seen them trying to go up for it. So you might think of Queasy and think, yeah, they're going to be going up on height every single game. I don't think we're going to expect to see that, but they have it in their back pocket, I think.
They do not want to get second place again.
The beginning of the tournament would go well for Queasy, as in Game 2, by playing high ground like Queasy does best, they would be able to see out their first win of the tournament.
Get high, don't die! Get high, don't die! Come on, man, it's too easy. Bro. It's too easy.
You know, 8 eliminations, a great start to proceedings there. Queasy, I mean, what is it like playing with someone like Thomas? He's got the eye of the tiger. He sees things that no one else sees.
I don't have to worry about Surge. I literally did like 200 damage that game, and we were 600 above or something, so it's pretty easy.
I'm just happy we won a game, like, and we can prove ourselves finally.
Are you embracing every second of this alongside your partner?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I got some important people in the audience that told me that I should go height and not die, and that's what I did, and we won the game.
Queasy now had the momentum, but things would take a turn for the worst, and Peterbot would go on to win the last 2 games day 1.
Let's go! You're the best, baby, let's go! We're the best players in the world, on my life.
Yeah, we're winning this right now.
There you go, give it up for Peterbot!
And with those 2 games, Queasy was now behind Peterbot by 150 points. If Queasy wanted to beat Peterbot, he would need to have some of the greatest matches of his life.
We obviously saw back in 2022 Invitational, you guys, when you had to, you know, against the Cami and Seti in that last game, Queasy, you were there, you kind of pushed this today, Peterbot and Poyo. If they get those points early on, can you see you guys doing something similar again? Can you kind of like take the bull by the horns and really try and make it your game?
If 3rd place is far enough, definitely.
I love that. I'm so excited.
Don't you get me excited like that, bro. If they start landing on Peterbot and Poyo, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to pass out like 6 times.
When it was time for day 2, Queasy was ready and would dominate in the very first game.
To threaten Thomas HD's current position. Thomas HD, in fact, alongside Queasy.
We are witnessing greatness right now as Thomas HD and Queasy are putting on a masterclass from the high ground here.
Taser is going to find his way up. Thomas HD instantly puts him down. Queasy with the cleanup as well, and a victory royale finish.
And it seems as well, Queasy, that each time you guys get that high ground, you're the one sent down just to wipe the floor, get those eliminations. Thomas holds the high, and it's working really, really well.
I mean, yeah. What is there to say? Like, we just take high and we win. There's nothing else to do. Like, we just need to perfect our mid game, and if we get into end game with good match, that's it.
Earlier in that game, Peterbot actually died, meaning he gained a little amount of points and Queasy was now really close. In the next 2 games, Queasy would continue with his momentum, and in the final stages of Game 9, Queasy and Peterbot were both left as solos.
To work with enemy around the backside, can he get 1 more points for him? This is huge for Queasy now. Earning points, earning eliminations. He has to stay ahead of Peterbot.
He's just doing everything he can to survive. Peterbot, though, gonna pick up Teeny in the process. Queasy is gonna find another into Rapid. Not gonna get a chance, though, to collect the body loot instead.
Solos remaining here. Teacher goes down. The next one is down too. Batman Booga sent back to the lobby. Aerial from Peterbot is just a little better. Up top, the high ground hit is good, and he needs to go. And he does it again.
Queasy and Thomas were trying everything to beat Peterbot, and it just wasn't working. But when it came to Game 11, a solo Peterbot would go head to head against Queasy and Thomas. And what happened, nobody expected.
Thomas HD and Queasy sitting at 8 eliminations already, though.
Have a 2v2 and then all solos in between. One of those solos is, of course, Peterbot. Rapid is gonna fall. Meanwhile, Thomas HD, Queasy are setting up the victory royale.
Thomas HD, Queasy, they know it's Peterbot and Booga.
Oh my God!
But Peterbot gets a huge chunk out of Queasy. Thomas is gonna fall. 1 more shot could do it. Peterbot with the refresh, continuing to break through on the low ground.
versus Queasy, the last play of the game. Peterbot, you were out of your mind there.
Yeah, I don't know. So I eliminated Thomas, and then I knew Queasy killed one, right? And then I just knew it was a free win because it was Queasy and not Thomas, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. All right. I think there's a chance that Thomas and Queasy may make the play and go for you guys and land where you're landing and challenge you.
I think so. Okay. Maybe.
So if you really want to win, you want to take on that championship like we know Queasy and Thomas do, there is one play that can guarantee you that championship, and that is landing on them, taking the raft away from them, and winning out the game.
But for the final game, would Queasy and Thomas actually land on Peterbot and Pio? The answer, unfortunately not. They would end up playing it safe and drop at their own POI. But this unfortunately didn't even work, and they would go down early, leaving Peterbot come first place. Queasy once again had come second. Queasy was feeling very emotional after the tournament, and even posted a really nice message from Thomas onto his Twitter. In the message, Thomas mentions all the hard work that Queasy put into preparing for the tournament, how they were able to do so well even though nobody had believed in them. Lastly, Thomas finished up the message saying, "I'm thankful that we shared this moment together." Thomas, HD and Queasy would forever be friends, but after Globals they would indeed split up. The next year of tournaments, and Queasy's two new teammates would be Mustache, a well-respected player in the Fortnite scene, and his other teammate would be Swizzy, the genius mechanical wonder kid he had praised a year ago.
Like, I'm losing it. I'm losing it, guys.
And it wouldn't take long for them to do well in FNCS and qualify for the next Fortnite Globals. Through this year, Peterbot was still being considered the greatest Fortnite player of all time. The only thing is, Queasy wanted that to change. Fortnite Globals 2025 would be when Queasy finally got to prove himself as Fortnite's greatest player of all time.
Queasy, Mustache. Levin, I'm coming to you. And what's interesting about this group is obviously the Queasy factor, right? Finally getting to play together with his actual trio mates.
See, I can't even hear you, Z. I can't even hear you right now. They're way too loud for my guys, Swizzy, Mustache, and Queasy, man. Uncontested. These guys, they might go the whole way, man. I really believe it.
Second, 11th, second at global events in the past. The win right there.
So many times.
So close for him. Can he pull it off this year?
This really, you would think this has to be his year, right?
Not only did Queasy have a great trio and a good drop spot, the crowd also wanted him to win, as his teammates were signed to a French org in the Globals who was on in France.
Chaos and lobbies on EU. Now they're ready to bring the heat to Leon on the global stage. Leon, make some noise for Swizzy, Queasy, and Mustache!
Queasy, I have to come to you first. You've had a couple of second places at global championships. How do you make it #1 this time?
That's the goal. I mean, second twice, and if I have these fans and the atmosphere, should make it.
Jandel! No. Jandel!
Nice. Okay, guys, I think I should probably let you get ready to load onto that battle bus because the teams here on Outstage in Leon are locked and loaded and ready to go.
Queasy's first game would not be bad after Swizzy solo clutched at 4th place, but it was in game 2 when things would start going really well for Queasy.
That they got high ground in this game, 5 eliminations, and once again, they're connecting it, they're reinforcing, they're making sure nobody has a chance to contest them on the high ground. If you didn't prepare for it, it's gonna be lights out, but Swizzy trying to stop Surf Juice, he's gonna be the first one that does go down.
But Queasy and Mustache were the only ones that made it to the mountaintop, and Queasy, it is just raining down from above. Answer's been eliminated too. Queasy and Mustache. No one wants to challenge them. Kings of the mountain.
If you were to ask anybody, who do you think is gonna win? M8 is all what the crowd wants to see. And now 2 of their favorite players in the world just picked up a Game 2 victory royale.
It felt like in game 1, you tried to take the high ground maybe a bit too early. You couldn't hold it. This time round, there were no mistakes. How did you make sure the plan went flawlessly?
I mean, it's never too early. Like, even first game, if we got some lucky pulls, we could have had it. 4 pulls we had, and then they pulled over the water and was kind of unlucky we couldn't get it. But game 2, we got some favors in our way, and that's it.
Queasy, Mustache, and Sweezy!
The crazy thing is, Queasy would win again.
For the high ground, he has it for now, but how long can he hold on to it?
Vanya doesn't even care that it's just a 2 versus 3. He still tries to take that challenge, but Swizzy immediately, not against my IGL. I've got the backup here. Swizzy taking him out. Roundo and Mustache, Swizzy, they're starting to drop. They're trying to see if they can close this one out. Queasy finds a knock. Demus is out. Queasy going for the back-to-back. It is all Queasy, Mustache, and Swizzy for a Game 3 victory royale.
Man, 3 games, 2 victory royale. What's your secret, guys? What's your secret?
Queasy had a 120-point lead, and going into Game 4, he was about to pull off the impossible.
I feel like I've seen this episode of Fortnite before. Game 2, Game 3, and it's looking like it could be possible for Game 4. 370 points and counting. Only 2 teams in front of him, both of them weak. Vanya trying to do what he can, but he only has 1 teammate, Marius as well, with the full trio up above. They get the wipe onto 1. They're looking to close this one out as well. Marius in his line of sight, but Swizzy, he takes a big shot. That's a surprise attack, but luckily for him, his 2 teammates have his back. Mustache gets the drop on Marius, stays alive. They're targeting out Vanya. 3v1 situation, and they go back to back to back to win another game.
When have you ever seen on the global stage the Tritskis of victory royales?
Nobody understood how Queasy was dominating so hard, and even in the next game, he would come second to his old friend Vino.
Obviously, up against an ex-teammate you know really well. Does that make it a bit more satisfying, or even a little bit more in your head? You know each other so well.
Nah, if I can't win this tourney, I want Queasy to win.
To finish out the day, Queasy would have a decent game, placing 5th, and being first by a massive amount of points.
These guys are rolling right now. I mean, 3 victorials back to back to back. This is something we will talk about forever in Fortnite history, in the context of, 1, they still have another day to just keep adding to that total, right? You know, like they can still get more and more wins.
Going into Game 2, everybody was expecting Queasy to finish out the tournament in first, but there would be one team that would start causing problems.
Still gotta be careful. Height overhead. Mustache is a solo. He'll be forced to drop to ultimate low. Malabuka creeping directly underneath him, but Mustache, he doesn't realize it. He only has 6 builds. He's trying to conserve as much as he possibly can. He's just so quiet in the background.
Vanya, I'm not sure what happened, but he gets knocked. 2 players up on the high ground. Sphinx trying to battle back, but Pixie gets dropped. Marius falls as well. Pix, Darman, Demus.
Dude, these numbers are getting smaller and smaller, right? This is gonna start coming down to the wire.
The last hope to make this a close competition against Queasy, Mustache, and Swizzy. And honestly, if anyone can do it, it is this trio right here, holding down at OXR, but making sure that any opportunity they can get to get on height, they're gonna take that away from Queasy.
Thank you, Mustache, for agreeing to talk to us at what must be quite a high-pressure moment. You were still top of the leaderboard with 81 points, but the games haven't been your strongest of the competition. What's been happening with the high ground? Why haven't you been able to hold on to it?
So I think so many people were reviewed and going for high ground. It was obviously we knew it. I think we just need mental reset, and that's the break we need to win the tournament.
For me, in esports, I always talk about the story, and right now there is a beautiful story building going all the way back to the Invitational, Cammy and Seti versus Queasy and Vino. The story that everyone said saved competitive Fortnite was Queasy and Vino landing on Cammy and Seti, and although it didn't go their way and they got second place, that cemented them in competitive Fortnite forever. And then you go to last year, where we think it is going to be an absolute stop of Poyo versus Peterbot, but Queasy says, nah, I'm gonna make them earn this win and get second place once again. full circle. We are here now, back on the global stage, and Queasy finally has that first place spot in his grasp.
It's right there.
It's right there.
Hey,
this has been a story building for 3 years.
Now, obviously, the person right behind him on his heels, right, is Vanya saying, hold on, Queasy, I've got the crowd behind me. Don't get too far away.
And in Game 10, things would get even worse for Queasy as he died early and Vanya went on to place second. Queasy had somehow lost his insane lead, but in an attempt to save his tournament, he went for an insane sneak play on Vanya's team.
But Queasy, Swizzy, and Mustache, they're taking a much more tactical approach.
Jacob, this is a strategy. They know they land OXR. They're waiting on top of the mountain. They want to rain down the shots as they fly through the sky.
They crack the shields on the one. There's just so much distance before he reaches the ground. He's out of render distance overall. Instantly comes the crash pad. Mustache, Queasy, Swizzy, they're trying to rotate in that direction. And them still have splashes underneath. Vanya's dropping, almost gets boxed up. Mustache has his head on a swivel, continuously turning around. But Taco talked about the double pump, and there it is in action. Marius is able to get the knock onto one, but he gets dropped to 30 HP. They desperately need the siphon, but oh no! Disaster strikes. Pixie is now the last one alive. Mustache and Swizzy, they lose Queasy, but it's only a knock. He's quickly going for the revive. A miracle in the making as Pixie falls.
They got all 3. That's all that they needed. The space has been created.
Queasy wouldn't just go on to do one genius play in this game.
But Queasy can't get down. He has no mats. They were all on Swizzy and Mustache. They hadn't had a chance to actually drop any of their materials. He does see a crash pad. He's trying to bring Swizzy up with him. And now Swizzy manages to connect. What a brilliant play from Queasy. Most players would have probably taken that for themselves, but he said, nah, you're coming back up here with me. Really looking to chase up. He's not trying to bark up the wrong tree here after all. They've got to be a little bit more reserved here, Vivid. They don't want to overextend their welcome.
They can make something happen. As I say, that Queasy actually gets knocked. Now it's going to be all left with Swizzy. Swizzy gets knocked down. First, second, third, fourth, all out of the competition. Now, of course, guys,
wow,
that last game, we've got to talk about the head-to-head. Queasy, Mustache, and Swizzy versus Vanya, Mustache, and Pixie. I cannot believe Queasy just said, you know what? It's time. It's time, Mini. This is giving me flashbacks.
With only 50 points being the difference, Queasy or Vanya could win, meaning it all came down to the final game.
Leon! The finish line is approaching once more, but who will cross it first? The world has heard your noise all weekend long, but you must be louder than you have ever been before. This game is where errors come to an end and new ones are born. This is the last chance to forge legacies. This is where champions are crowned. So Leon, I've got 3 words for you. Are you ready?
Vanya Boo Boo! Pixie! Where are they at? Will they clash yet again?
Not too soon. Business as usual on the north side of the map.
It's so easy to want to hit the autopilot if you're in Queasy's position. You start to see the lights. You start to think that could be us, our name. The crowd is chanting, but the same case scenario for Vanya as well. They're still looking to try and overtake first place. And if Mustache, Swizzy, and Queasy get lobby focused, that could be the ultimate difference maker. But instead, Swizzy fires back. Vanya just barely managing to start to get his life back up to a healthy level. Swizzy, Mustache, Queasy though, they see the high ground. They're starting to go for the chop. Malabuka gonna be forced to drop eventually, but can Malabuka even get down in the first place? I don't think so. He's a victim of the lobby now. Swizzy, Queasy, they don't hesitate. They're immediately surging upwards. They know height domination is where the battle will be tested.
On the high ground right now, they're getting challenged, but they're fighting for it all. It's Pixie, it's Marius, and Vanya. If they want to win, this is the moment right here. Swizzy goes down. Mustache has fallen.
Taco. There are more than enough points still left on the board for them to overtake the first place spot, but they have to survive. Vanya goes down. Marius is gonna have to pop that slurp juice and reunite with Pixie.
But where's Queasy? Pixie and Marius, they're so incredibly low. They're not going to be able to save Vanya. They'll at least get everything that he had to offer at the final moments. But Marius, Pixie, as a duo, they've got to find Queasy. They don't know where he's gone off to. Seti in the low ground. If Marius and Pixie aren't careful, they might run smack dab into the center of where all the congestion is building at. But they're crash padding up. They're trying to get back on the height. They know what is in front of them, and they want to take it by force.
They already have second place locked in. It's all or nothing. Down goes BH Sin, but no! Marius is now down as well. Pixie with the pressure on his shoulders. You gotta remember though, Queasy is down. They are 50 points shy. He needs to win, but he gets denied. Mustache, Queasy, and Swizzy have done it. As Cooper and Curly are still down below. 2v3 situation, 3v1. I drop Dari and Cammy win the final game of the day.
What an impossibly crazy finish. Nobody could have possibly anticipated that it would all come down to this final match in day one. We saw Queasy, Swizzy, and Mustache leading the charge. They had such a monumental lead over the entirety of the lobby, but it still all came down to the wire. They knew it was a marathon from the get-go, but they sprinted across the finish line to claim the title as your 2025 global champions. Fellas, lift that trophy high!
Queasy had finally won at LAN and proved to everyone why he is one of the greatest players of all time, and he had done it all by being smart and not even being good at building. This video took me over 3 months to make, so any support is appreciated.